Sorry, darlings. I have to fix this for a second. I apologize. I'm going to move this phone over there. I have to... Oh my hell, that whole thing is just loose. Jeez. I'm about as handy as a chat ass in a windstorm. Okay. We're doing something different today. I'm not doing makeup. I want to touch on... Well, first, if you're new, let me introduce myself. My name is Joey Dominguez. I'm 64 years old. I do TikTok, and what I do on TikTok is I play with makeup, and we listen to music, and we talk, and I like to promote positivity and all that kind of stuff, and I also like to try to help people with their makeup journey, if they're on a makeup journey. I mean, I don't consider myself a makeup artist. I just consider myself a makeup enthusiast, and I just basically play with makeup. Hold on just a second, because I look like I was in a fight with an ugly stick and I lost. So hold on. So I'm a firm believer that if your life sucks, the only person that can change it is you. Well, what I want to do is I want to talk about what happened to me yesterday. I don't really want to get into too many specifics as far as like everything, but anyway, I'm married. My husband's name is Clifford, and we've been together for 9 years, and we've been married for 3 years. And he's the love of my life. I've never ever felt this way to this extent about anybody in my life as far as a partner until I met Cliff. And if you follow me and you know anything about me, you know that I'm planning to move to Georgia. So we're in the process of trying to clean the house up and sell it so we can relocate to Georgia, so I can retire and I can concentrate on TikTok, and we're gonna start doing YouTube and all that kind of stuff. Well, anyway, my husband does not want to go. And my husband is very jealous of my dear friend Joy and her husband that live in Georgia. I want to explain something to you about my friend Joy. I have never had anybody in my whole entire life that loves me and cares about me and doesn't expect anything in return except for love and friendship back from myself. Everybody, and I shouldn't say everybody because I really shouldn't clump everybody into this little category, but for the most part, my whole entire life, as long as I can remember. Thank you, honey. I mean, you know, when you're like a teenager, and my parents own a business, and my parents' business at that time was very successful, and I was a spoiled rotten brat, so everybody thought that because my parents' business was really good that I had lots of money, which was not the case. So, and when you're young and you're bullied, which I've been bullied my whole entire life. Not so much lately, but I still get bullied a little bit on TikTok. I just ignore it. It's just people's opinions. It doesn't bother me. It's like water running off a duck's back. When you've been bullied your whole entire life, it's just, it's just easier for me to look at somebody that's doing that and go, really? Why are you doing this? You don't know me. You don't know anything about me. Anyway, so I went to work yesterday at 6 p.m. and then my husband, which I should say, soon to be ex-husband, texted me, and he said some not so nice things to my dear, dear friends. And so I came home to find out what he had done. And Cliff was very intoxicated. And of course he lied to me and told me that he wasn't drunk. But, you know, I'm not the brightest crayon on the box. I like to think I'm one of the prettiest. But I'm not stupid. I can tell when he's been drinking. So I asked him what he did, and I read the text messages. And then, of course, it turned into an argument. And then the next thing I know, he hit me. So he smacked me across the face, and all this happened so fast. I don't know if he slapped me with an open hand or the back of his hand, or if he punched me. I don't know. I mean, I have 2 marks right here, and I think I possibly might be maybe getting a black eye. And he also bloodied my nose. And then after he did that, he grabbed me by the hair, and then I defended myself. So, like I said, I was at work, and I didn't know what Cliff was going to do, so I called my very, very good friend Caden, and he came to my house and picked up my dogs, because that's my biggest concern, is my dogs. So, because I've never seen this side of Cliff before in my whole entire life, and so I don't know what he would do when he's intoxicated. Anyway, so besides all that, I'm at work, and the city police officer, and I broke 3 nails in the scuffle. So that's why my nails look like this, because I clipped them all off, and I was, anyway, who cares about the nails? Anyway, so, my friend Caden, contacted the authorities and let them know what was going on, and they came and talked to me, and then they came back to the house, and Clifford was here because he left, and they arrested him for domestic violence. So he spent the night in jail, and I thought he would probably spend the night, or that he would stay in jail until his court date, but they called me and let me know that he's been released. But he does have a do not contact order on him. So if he does contact me or does anything, all I have to do is call the cops, and then they'll arrest him. So, but anyway, this is all happening, and when you love somebody the way that I love Cliff, and I still love Cliff, I mean, but that nice little slap across the face or punch across the face knocks some sense into me. The whole time that I've been in this relationship, I've been lied to, I've been manipulated, but when you feel the way that I feel about this person, I believed everything he told me. So, and I could not understand why people around me, like my family and everybody, didn't really warm up to Cliff. And I guess I took it personally, and I thought that my family were just a bunch of poops. So, but when you're looking through rose-colored glasses, and you basically just want to see what you want to see, and you don't see all the other stuff, you just ignore it, then I wasn't seeing what my friends, and I don't have I only have a handful, probably like less than 5 close friends that live in my area. And I'm a very private person, and I do not let people in because I've been taken advantage of so much. But occasionally, I like to describe it that I've surrounded myself with a really, really tall wall, and in this wall is built a door, and in this door is a window. So you can see into my life. You can see what's going on in my life, but I rarely open that door and let people in. So somebody's just said, what happened to my face? I was, what's the word I'm thinking of? My husband hit me. I guess that's the best way to put it. So, I'm very, I'm very, very cautious. I like to think that I don't like to think, I know this, and I'm just going to say this. I'm a very nice, I'm a very caring, giving person. I will give you the shirt off my back. And if I have something that I really like and you like it, I won't give you mine, but I'll buy you one. That's the type of person I am. When I'm at work and people want food, and if I go get it, I'm the type of person that I pay, because stuff like that makes me feel really, really good. And so I try to do things, I try to be nice, I try to be pleasant. Thank you, darlings. And I try to promote positivity. And if I'm having a bad, horrible day, because I do work with patients in a care center, I leave my emotions and my feelings on the outside of the door. And when I walk in, I try to be as bubbly and positive and friendly as I can when I'm having a good day. So, for me to be assaulted by somebody that I cared for and trusted and did everything for that I could. I mean, Cliff is an alcoholic and he doesn't work, and I take care of him. I house him, I feed him, I buy his clothes, I put gas in his car, I pay for everything. And a lot of people go, well, why do you do that? It's because, well, I look at it in this situation that if it was a male-female relationship and one of the people in the relationship made enough money that the other one didn't have to work, then that's what they would do, and that's what I do. And plus, for me, it was also peace of mind, because my house was broken into, and I had an iPad and some fake Louis Vuitton purses and a fake Louis Vuitton train case and about $20,000 worth of gold jewelry that my mom had given me throughout the course of my life. My mom would travel and she would buy gold, and then she would come back and she would shower my little sister and myself with presents of gold jewelry. Anyway, so when my house was broken into, Cliff is the one that told me that it was broken into, and I just didn't even think that he might have been involved. But at this time in our relationship, I didn't know that he was doing meth. I'm very naive when it comes to certain things. So anyway, he was arrested for that and blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's a completely different story. But now I'm just kind of wondering if he had anything to do with the breaking in my house. And I've been a very materialistic person my whole entire life, because when you're insecure and you don't like yourself and you're desperate for people to like you, you'll do about anything you can. So I spent money, and I had, a boat, and anyway, all that stuff is just material. It's just material stuff. It's just stuff. So when I was robbed, I just looked at it with an attitude. It's like, yeah, I mean, most of the jewelry, some of it I bought, but most of the jewelry was a present from my mother. And I feel really, really bad about somebody taking that stuff. But then on the other hand, I just told myself, I'm fine, Cliff's fine, the dogs are fine, they didn't trash my house, they didn't tear it apart looking for stuff. So in that point, I'm happy for that, and I'm blessed with that. But it's just stuff. It's just stuff. So I'm okay, and that's all that matters. But anyway, this is what has happened to me. But as soon as I was struck, we were done. So I've tried to break up with him before, and I have backed down because if he leaves my home, he'll be homeless. He doesn't have very many friends himself, and I don't know where he is. I have his phone, I have his car, so I don't know where he is. And to tell the honest to God's truth, I hope he's okay. And I'm going to say this, and this might sound cold-hearted and mean, but it's not my problem anymore. It's his problem. But what I'm trying to basically say about this is if you're in a situation or have been in a situation that I happen to be in right now, you're not alone, darlings. There's people out there. I have contacted my dear close friends and let them know what's going on, and I have had nothing but kindness and support and positive feedback from everybody. So they say if I need anything, they're just a phone call away, and I'm very thankful and I'm very grateful for that. I just don't like to be a burden on anybody else, and I really don't want this live to turn into a pity party or a boo-hoo-hoo feel sorry for me, because that's not what I want. I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me. I mean, so I'm not basically doing this so you can go, so anyway, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is that when you're in a situation like this and you love somebody and they've abused you verbally, physically, financially, emotionally, sexually, any way like that, nobody deserves to be treated like that by anybody. And I don't care. I don't care. And I don't care who you are. I do care who you are, but what I'm trying to say is, you can get out of the situation, and I know it's hard. This is one of the hardest things right now that I have ever gone through in my whole entire life. I'm a very strong person, and I'm a very independent person. I try to make sure that I'm okay and not have to ask my family for money or anything. And in order for me to do that, because I have an uncontrollable spending problem that I've kind of taken under control since I've been back from Georgia. But my spending problem was when you don't like yourself. When you hate yourself like I hated myself, I would buy things to fill the void that was missing in my life, to try to make myself feel better. And then I would get buyer's remorse, and then I would feel okay for a few days, and then the newness would wear off, and I would be right back in that same situation. So for me, it was a vicious cycle, and it's been going on for probably about 30 years. And I always seem to get myself out of debt because I do work, and I work hard, and I pay my own bills, and I don't ask anybody for help because I'm an adult. I pull up my big girl underwear, and I do what I have to do. So like I said, I have been working 2 jobs for probably about 22 to 23 years. Sorry, I was going to start this live earlier, but I went and got me a Mountain Dew, and there was about right up to there, and I knocked it off my table, and I spilt on the floor in my studio. So my studio is going to be stickier than hell, but I need to clean it anyway. So, I'm saying this about people that are in an abusive relationship, and when you think, I can't do this, every time I try to end this relationship, Cliff will start to cry, and then it tugs on my heartstrings, and like I said, I do love him a lot, and I would back down. But I also told myself a long time ago that if anybody ever struck me, then that's it. So like I said, the second his hand or his fist or whatever came into contact with this old face, we were done. So, like I said, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do, but I also want to say that if I can do it and you're afraid that you can't do it, you can, darlings. And I swear, if you want to reach out to me and DM me or whatever and give some support for what you're going through, I'm here, kids. I mean, I'm not the type of person that this is, how do I put, that this is not real what I do on TikTok. What I do on TikTok is me. It is the honest version of Joey and Auntie Prue. I'm myself. Everything I tell you, I mean it from the bottom of my heart, and all I want to do is help people. I was really, what's the word? See, my brain doesn't work like it used to, so when I think of a word, if I think of orange, apple comes out. If I think of aluminum foil, I think, oh shit, ammonia comes out of my mouth. So if I can do this, anybody can do this. But what I'm trying to say is nobody deserves this. I don't deserve this. Anybody out there that's going through this, you don't deserve it. You don't have to be trapped in an abusive relationship, because in my case, this is my house. It's not Clifford's house. So because he's gone, it's not like I have to find someplace to go. And I do have family here. But there are people out there that if you're stuck like that and you don't have a place to go, that'll help you. But the hardest part is taking the first step. Once you take the first step, it'll get easier. And yes, if you love somebody the way I love Cliff, this is breaking my heart. But I have to put myself first. I usually try not to. I usually don't put myself first, and I think of other people. So, I mean, that's probably kind of obvious because of what I've been doing for the last 9 years for my significant ex-other, I should say. So, but enough is enough in my case. I cannot do this no more. I cannot be put in a situation where I'm a cash cow. That's what I am. Clifford knew how much I loved him when we started this relationship, and he took advantage of that because he had someplace to live. He didn't have to worry because he knew I would take care of him because I told him I would because I love him. So, but I saw the real Clifford yesterday. So, look at me. I missed my nails already, so I'm putting a freaking pair of tweezers on there. Anyway, so my mind just kind of went blank. I'm still in shock. I keep pinching myself to make sure that this isn't a dream. When I climbed into bed this morning at 7 a.m. after I got off at 6 a.m., it's like, no, this is just a dream. This is just a dream. This isn't happening. This isn't happening. And I'm not sitting here saying this isn't happening to me. I'm sitting here thinking this isn't happening to us, which I mean our relationship, because I thought I had a wonderful relationship with Cliff. I enjoy his company. He's my friend. He's never done anything violent or anything like that towards me ever. And now he's destroyed everything. And he was basically trying to destroy my plans for my future by basically, throwing a wrench into everything, and I stopped him. So I think he was realizing that he was losing control over me, because I never really realized that I was being controlled. That's what I mean when people around me probably saw that, but I didn't want to see it. I never felt used by Cliff until yesterday. And I mean, I've been in relationships before where I've been used and I end them. But I never felt used or taken advantage of. I thought we were going to spend the rest of our lives together. I thought we were going to move to Georgia and be happy together. But then I also decided that if I took him to Georgia with me, because of his jealousy towards my friends that live there, he would just make my life miserable. So I basically told him that no matter what happens, I'm going with or without him. And thank you for all the wonderful comments, darling. So another problem that I ran into, and I don't remember, we refinanced our house. I think it'll be a year ago at the end of this year. We refinanced and our interest rate is like 2%, and Cliff took care of everything. So he saved us a lot of money by refinancing, but then I've been racking my brain trying to figure out if he did something with my permission or if he just did it on his own. But when he refinanced the house, he put his name, thank you, darlings, he put his name on my house. So because we're married and his name is on my property, if I divorce him, he could possibly take half of everything that I have. And if he does that, then that shoots me in the ass as far as like moving to Georgia. So, and I don't know if he's mean enough and manipulative enough. Well, he is. I already know he's manipulative. I don't know if he would be spiteful and do something like that to me. Yes, he's on my home loan. So, I mean, I obviously have proof that I've been paying the mortgage the whole time that I've owned this home. And I contacted my parents today, and I contacted my family, and I told them what was going on, and they told me that I need to get a lawyer, but unfortunately, I have no money for a lawyer. So I'm gonna have to I'm hoping my family will step in and help me, and then if they do, when my house sells, then I will pay them back. But and he's got one of my credit cards, and I've been checking my debit card, and as far as I can see today, he has not taken any money out of my account. But I'm going to protect myself, and I'm going to call the bank tomorrow, and I am going to cancel that credit card. So my mind is racing, my brain is racing. My mother talked to me yesterday, and she's concerned because I've lost 50 pounds, and everybody keeps asking me if I'm eating and if I'm doing okay. And it's like, yes, I'm eating and I'm doing okay, but I'll be totally honest with you, if I'm not hungry, I don't eat. So sometimes I go 24 hours without eating because I'm not hungry. And then when I'm stressed, my appetite completely disappears. So I don't eat. But then there's other days that all I do is eat. So I'm physically in health. I smoke too much and I drink way too much of this Mountain Dew. But after what happened yesterday, I decided that I am going to try to take care of myself a little bit more, and I am going to attempt to stop smoking. I've done it before. I stopped smoking when I was 35, and then I started smoking again when I was 40. And then for the last 20 years, I will smoke for a year, and then I'll stop for a year and a half. And then I'll smoke for 2 years, and then I'll stop for 6 months. It's been a vicious little cycle, and I know I can do it because I've done it. But unfortunately for me, I compared it to having a switch in my head, because if I tell myself, okay, you need to stop smoking, and then I am going to cancel the credit card tomorrow, darling. So if I tell myself that I can smoke on my birthday, I can smoke on New Year's, I can smoke on my vacation, then I am not ready to quit and it will not work. So right now the light switch is turned on, and I'm bound and determined to turn that light switch back off. So that's my plans, and I'm also planning on restricting my consumption of this wonderful little toxic green looking liquid that I drink every day. I'm going to be honest with you about this liquid. I smoke, I drink Mountain Dew. So when I wake up in the morning, I'm not jonesing for a cigarette. I'm jonesing for a Mountain Dew. So I always make sure that I have Mountain Dew. So anyway, so those are part of my plans. I am going to, my nephew sent me a contact number for a lawyer, and I'm going to get hold of him tomorrow, and see if I can set up a consultation with them. So, and go from there, and the money part I will worry about later, because I'll make it work. So I need to do this legally, and I need to do this the right way so I don't get screwed in the end. I mean, basically, if I already told Cliff that if he didn't want to move to Georgia, I would give him $20,000 from the house. Yes, he hit me. I would give him $20,000 from the house so he could stay and do whatever he wants. And he also has some inheritance from his dad, and it was stock, and I'm not sure if it's $45,000 or $65,000, and I don't really care. So I mean, if push comes to shove, if I give him money, if the court wants me to give him money, and then he's got that money, then he should be okay. But I was hoping that they were going to keep him in jail, and then they were going to make him get help instead of just churning him loose, which they did. Like I said, his wallet, his car, his phone, everything is here, and I have myself barricaded in the house. So every door, everything is locked. I have security gates. I have gates in front of my house. I double gated. I double did everything as far as my house and my yard so my dogs could not get out. So, but I don't care how much security or how much protection or how much anything you have. If somebody wants to get in, they can get in. So I'm not really concerned about my safety, but on the other hand, I kind of am, because when he left last night and was in his car driving away, this is what he said to me. And this is another thing that when he said this to me, I knew it was over. He said, I'm going to kill myself and it's going to be your fault. And then he said a whole bunch of other stuff while he was driving off that I didn't hear. So that's another form of manipulation as far as, do I have a poo-poo? P-E-W, P-E-W. I don't understand what that means. So, in the back of my mind, I'm kind of thinking that if I give in, and yeah, he was, we don't have any guns in the house. I don't like guns. I don't know anything about guns, and guns kill people. And because I don't know anything about guns, I would either kill somebody or kill myself because I know absolutely nothing about them. So, and I'm just going to say this about guns. I just, I think people should own guns. I just don't think that you should be able to go to Dick's and buy a rocket launcher that would take down a helicopter. That's my point of view about firearms. So, but there's a part of me in the back of my head that thinks that if I let him back into my life, that he is going to do something. And like, I'm not saying he's going to do this. I'm not saying he's not going to do this. I just don't know. The state of mind that he's in right now, which I have no clue what it is, but he doesn't even probably remember what happened yesterday, to be honest with you. Because when he smacked me, I got a bloody nose. And after I got away from him, he asked me, why is your nose bleeding? And I said, because you hit me. So he probably has no recollection of what happened last night. So anyway, back to the house. I forgot to tell you that, and then I'll come back to this. I don't remember if he asked me if he could put his name on the house or if he just did it. I keep racking my brain and I don't remember. I'm going, yeah, maybe he did ask me, but then on the other hand, I don't remember. But 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was getting ready and I went out to get myself something to drink, and I flat out asked Cliff. I said, is your name on the house? And he said, yes. So that kind of makes me think that he did it, and then I knew about it, and then I wasn't sure about it, but I honestly don't remember if I gave him permission. So I don't know. And if anything, if push comes to shove in anything and I have to do some kind of deposition or have to go to court or I have to testify or have anything like that, when they ask me that, I'm not going to lie and say, no, I did not tell him he could do that, because that is not me. I'm not going to lie. I'm a horrible liar. I don't lie. Okay, I tell small fibs every once in a while. Like when you call in sick and you're not really sick, but you just don't want to work. I mean, I'm not going to say everybody does that, but a lot of people do that. And yes, I'm one of them. I'm guilty. But I'm not going to lie. I don't lie at all. I don't cheat, steal, or lie, and I do not backstab my friends. Now, other people, sometimes I can be a royal bitch and not be the nicest person, but usually if somebody treats me in a way that I don't appreciate, then I tell them, it's like, don't do that to me because you'll get it right back. I may be the nelliest little woman in the whole entire world, can't fight my way out of a wet paper bag, but I can defend myself physically and verbally. So one thing Cliff did teach me in the 9 years, and I'm sorry, I've been smoking like a chimney ever since this happened, and I need to stop. But I don't know, this is going to sound really, really stupid, but right now I'm getting comfort from cigarettes and Mountain Dew. And I know that's really, really dumb and a stupid thing for me to say, but it's the truth. So hold on for just 1 second. So as far as the house and what's going to happen when I do divorce him, I will cross that bridge when I come to it. I'm not going to sit here and drive myself crazy thinking about, could he do this? Could he do this? Could he do that? Could he do that? Because the answer to all of those questions is yes. He can do anything he wants to because we're married. And as far as I know, I'm not a lawyer. I'll be honest with you, I'm dyslexic. I barely graduated high school. I'm not stupid. I have no street smarts, but I'm not dumb. He could take me to the cleaners. And if he does that, he does it. So, but I'm just not going to worry about that. Right now, I'm going 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day at a time. So I'm not going to worry about what's going to happen tomorrow because tomorrow is going to be a better day. I will take care of myself emotionally and physically. Like I said, I'm going to try to quit smoking, and I promise everybody I will eat. We posted a pic on TikTok of when I first started doing makeup and I had a beard, and I was looking at that picture. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe that's me. And then I also look at that picture and it's like, oh my God, look how fat your face is. But when I started working in Hilldale at a recovery home, a residential recovery home, we didn't really do a lot of activities. And the people that are employed like me, our job was to watch people and make sure that they did what they were supposed to. So we sat around a lot. So if they ate, the employees ate. If they watched movies, the employees movie, that kind of thing. And it was one of those situations that we weren't restricted with food. So I ballooned from 190 up to 230 pounds. I was a pudgy little sucker. So when I quit that job because I had got a job as a CNA. And working as a CNA, you do a lot of walking. So I walk a lot, and I attribute that to most of the weight loss. But then another thing, and this is another thing that happens to me almost every year. Every winter, I gain weight, and then every summer, I lose weight. So I fluctuate from about 186 or 190 to about 200 to 205. And during the summertime, I'm more active out because I'm out in the yard. And then I'm walking a lot at work. So naturally, because of that, I am going to lose weight. And then when I'm doing something, I'll just show you, I'll use this for an example. When I'm doing makeup, when I'm doing crafts and stuff like this, I don't get hungry. So, and because I don't get hungry and I don't eat, my stomach shrinks. So I used to be able to go to it used to be my favorite. It's not my favorite place anymore. And now that I've caught COVID, which by the way, when I caught COVID, I didn't get sick at all. I just basically had a week off from work. But the one thing that I have noticed is now food doesn't taste as good. It's either too salty or it's too bland. So everything that I eat is just kind of, oh God, this is horrible. And every once in a while I'll get something and I'll eat it and it's absolutely delicious. But that's probably like one time out of 15 or 20 meals. So because it doesn't taste good, it's just like, so I'll eat Doritos. Thank you, which is not the most healthiest thing to eat for dinner, or Fritos with, Frito bean dip. But I will go to Maverick, which was one of our local convenience stores, and I will buy boiled eggs and I'll eat those because they're protein. And I'll be honest with you, when I eat 2 boiled eggs, I'm full. So I eat at least once a day and I snack quite a bit, but it's usually on stuff that's not, good for you. But I do when I go to the grocery store, which I don't go very often. I try to buy apples and vegetables because I absolutely love Honeycrisp apples, and they're the most expensive apples in the whole wide world that I know of. Thank you, darling. But I love them, and I love vegetables. So I'm going to try to take better care of myself. But it just seems to me that I'm getting sidetracked. But hold on, darlings. I'm getting a phone call, and it's from one of the Cliff's friends. So I'll be back as soon as I can. Hello? You haven't had any contact with Cliff, have you? I'm sorry. I'm back. I just did the hardest thing the toughest thing, the hardest thing that I've ever had to do in my entire life. And I had to tell the person that has taken my heart and that I love more than anything in the whole wide world that we're done, that it's over. I wasn't supposed to talk to him. There's a no contact order. I told him, I said, I'm not going to talk to you ever again. He begged me to come back. He doesn't remember one thing about what happened yesterday. And I said, no. So he goes, I can't live with you. I said, no. We're done. As soon as you struck me across the face, we're done. And I'm sticking to that. And I'm done. It's time for me to look forward instead of looking backward. This is all going to be in the past. Part of it is already in the past. The physical abuse was yesterday, and it's done, and it's over, and I'm not going to dwell on it. So I'm going to move forward and be as positive as I can, and I'm going to move to Georgia, and I am going to make my life the happiest life that I can do without this man. I just cannot believe how stupid I am, how stupid I was, that I let emotions take control of my life because of the way that I care for this person. I feel dumb. I feel stupid. I just feel like a dumbass. I feel so alone right now, and I just don't know what to do. It's just this is the worst thing that could happen to me as far as I'm concerned. When you finally find somebody in your life that you absolutely positively love, that you care for more than anything in the whole wide world, and then this person does something like this. So I just don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what to do, and I'm trying to tell myself to think positive and to move forward and not let this affect me. But I'm so sorry when you love something as much as I love him, and then all of a sudden he's gone, and I'm never going to see him again. It's killing me. I just don't know what to do, and I just don't want to burden you guys with all of this, but I have to turn this horrible bad experience into a positive experience. And if I can help one person turn their horrible experience in abuse or bullying or anything, then that would make me happier than anything in the whole wide world. All I want to do is spread positivity and tell people that they're beautiful no matter who they are or what they are, and to love yourself. And if your life sucks, you're the only one that can change it. Right now, my life sucks, and the only one that can change it is me, and I'm going to change it. So, this is not an infatuation with Cliff. This is true love on my part. I am a very materialistic person, and I've always tried to buy nice things to make myself feel better about myself. Right now, all of the stuff that I have in my house and my classic car collection, I just want to jump on a plane and I just want to go to Georgia and take my dogs with me and start all over. Right now, I do not care about any of this stuff in the house. It is just stuff. But I gotta light a cigarette. I'm sorry. So Clifford is safe. He's okay. Right now, that's all that matters, is that he's safe and he's okay. I'm safe and I'm doing the best I can. I was kind of worried that if I let Cliff come back into my life, and I'm not going to, because then it'll just start all over. He promised me that he was going to stop drinking and get help. And he says he's embarrassed and he's sorry that it happened. And he said it was the alcohol. And yes, I totally agree with him. It was the alcohol, because when he's sober, he's not like that. But in the back of my head, there's a part of me that if he gets drunk or if he gets something like that, and he's gotten violent once before, I honestly don't know if he's going to take my life and then take his own. So, that's a concern. I don't really think it would happen, but at this point in my life, anything could happen. So, all I can say is if you are in the same kind of situation, or you know somebody that's in the same kind of situation, the thing that's helping me the most right now is the love and support from you guys. And unfortunately, I haven't met you guys, but I still feel like we have a little handful of people that come into the lives, almost every live that I do. And to me, you guys are family. And I have support from people that care about me. Joy and Casey and Robin, my mom and my dad, my sister, my nephews, nieces and nephews, everybody, a few close friends here, and I'll be okay. But my only concern, thank you, honey, is that when I get into a situation like this, I self-isolate. So I try not to bring any kind of negativity to the lives or anything, but I'm just going to tell you honestly, sometimes when you guys don't see me for a while, it's because I'm self-isolating. And the last thing I want to do is come onto this live or a live in a bad state of mind and have everybody go, well, what's wrong? Because she's not the way she usually is. So I try to not do lives when I'm in that situation. Oh my God, my glasses are so filthy, and he knocked them off my face and they hit the ground, and every time I look down they want to fall off. So anyway, I just don't, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I honestly don't know. There's so much stuff that's going through my mind right now, and I did tell him, I says, if you do anything to stop me with the house for me to move into Georgia, I'll never forgive you. And he said, no, he's not going to do that. So, but I don't know. I don't know if there's anything more I can say, except for basically I'm sorry, and I don't even know why I'm sorry. It's not my fault. I try not to blame other people for what happens in my life, or if I made a mistake. If I made a mistake, I admit to it. I don't go, well, it happened because of him or because of her. That's not me. I own up to my mistakes, and I learn from my mistakes. And I've learned a lot already from this mistake. The only thing that I'm afraid of is because of my age. I'm 64, and I'm very odd, and I'm very strange, and I'm very unusual. And I honestly don't know if I'll ever meet anybody again, and I honestly don't know if I want to. But that's the least of my concerns right now. The biggest part is I have to make sure that I'm okay and my babies are okay. So, as long as we're okay, then everything is good. So, I picked up a shift tonight and they told me not to come in, but I still have to work Monday and Tuesday, and then I have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. But I need to keep myself busy. I can't just sit around and, marinate in my own tears and have a pity party for myself, because I'm not going to do that, because that is not going to help anybody and that's not going to help me. So I'm going to try to keep as busy as I can. And when I do I'm just going to start packing. I'm just going to play music in the house, and I'm just going to pack, and I'm going to start picking this house up, and I'm going to start getting my house back, because Cliff turned my house into something that it's not. I'm one of those people that when you walk into my house, everything is in its place. There's no clutter. There's no nothing. But Cliff completely changed that to my house. He's that far away from being a hoarder. So I'm going to concentrate on getting ready to move. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm still going to do lives, but I'm also going to let you know this too, that because I'm moving, I'm trying to save as much money as I can so I have money for the move, like pocket money type thing, and I'm trying to save the money. So if I have the opportunity to pick up a live and make a few extra or pick up a shift and make a few extra dollars, I probably will, but I'm not also going to kill myself at work too. So I have a lot of stuff on my plate right now. So I need to concentrate on getting all that stuff done and taken care of, and do it in a positive way. The last thing I want to do here is just sit here and feel sorry for myself, because that's not going to do me any good. It's not going to do anybody any good. But especially it's not going to do me any good. When I told Cliff that we were done, like I said, it was the hardest thing that I've ever done in my whole entire life. But then I came back in, and it feels like the biggest weight on my shoulders has been lifted. So there's no more worrying about somebody else, if they're going to be okay with the move to Georgia, if they're going to cause problems in Georgia, if somebody's going to make my life miserable because I moved them to Georgia. Now I don't have to worry about that anymore. It's just me. So I am a little bit nervous about moving to Georgia and moving into a new house. I mean, I'm also excited about it, but it's going to take a little bit of getting used to. Thank you. It's going to take some getting used to being alone. I'm not alone, but living alone. So when I do finally move to Georgia, I have the most wonderful friends that I can have. I mean, I could never ask for friends like this. This is the first time in my entire life that I've realized, I mean, it might have happened a couple of other times before, but let me explain what I'm trying to say. This is one of the first times in my whole entire life that I have made friends, and I have been friends with Joy and Casey for over 20 years. I met Joy when we both worked at Walmart, and we became fast friends. And then when I went to stay with Joy in Georgia, one of my mods by the name of Robin, who I'd spoken to on the phone before and I'd never met in person, when she pulled up into Joy's driveway and I gave her a hug, I instantly fell in love with her. And these people are the closest and dearest friends. Well, and my friend Caden and my friend Lacey. But these people, they're not looking at me trying to see what they can get out of me. Joy has been very, very generous with the little bit of money that I do make on TikTok. But TikTok for myself and Joy is a partnership, and it's going to be a partnership with the three of us, which is like Joy and Robin and myself, and we are going to make TikTok and we are going to make YouTube work. And I'm bound and determined, and now I have more motivation to do TikTok and to do YouTube. And my makeup is more of a vehicle to do something while I try to promote positivity and help people with makeup tips. Excuse me. I'm not the best makeup person in the whole wide world. And like I say all the time, I've said this probably more times than I can count, I am not a makeup artist. I just like to play with makeup, and because I enjoy makeup so much, and I do quite a few lives when I have the time, the only side effect that I've learned from doing makeup that much and that often is no matter what I do, I'm getting better. Am I the best? No. Am I the worst? I don't know. In some people's opinions, I could be. Am I too old to be doing this? No, I'm not. It doesn't matter. Makeup does not know your nationality, your gender, the color of your skin, your sexual preference. It doesn't know any of that. Makeup is for anybody that wants to wear makeup. It doesn't matter if you're 19 or if you're 64 like I am, or if you're 73, and it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. It doesn't matter. The thing that I have noticed about playing with makeup is when I play with makeup, my whole attitude changes. I'm the most insecure, shy, sometimes I'm self-centered person that you will ever meet. But when I play with makeup, it makes me feel beautiful. It's the truth. It makes this old man feel absolutely beautiful. It gives me confidence. It gives me the confidence enough to know that I'm a good person and I can do this, and I'm willing to help other people with their makeup journey, because I'm not one of those people that's not going to tell you when you say, well, what is that product that you're using? I'm not going to say, well, I'm not going to tell you because I'm not getting paid. I don't care about getting paid. I don't care about sponsorships. I don't care about PR lists. All that stuff would be great. If it happens to me, I'm not going to turn it down, but that is not my main focus of doing TikTok. When I first started doing TikTok, I didn't lip sync that much. And so I talked and I talked. And I tried to tell people that no matter what's going on in your life, you're beautiful. It doesn't matter. Looks are only skin deep. If somebody is just judging you on the way you look or where you live or what kind of car you drive or what kind of clothes you wear, those are not nice people, in my opinion. I'm very materialistic, but I'm getting away from that. I mean, I'm going to show you. This is how I dress all the time. I dress for comfort. I wear big, fat, oversized t-shirts. I wear leggings. I wear what I call PE shorts. And I wear socks. And I wear slip-on Crocs. And I wear this thing on my head. And if you ever see me walking down the street someplace, like if you came to St. George and you saw me at Ulta, this is what you would see. I don't think that clothes and material things change you into a better person. I don't think any materialistic things, I don't think anything like a $45,000 Birkin bag, is that going to make my life happier? Yeah. I mean, yeah, I love Birkins. But does it make me better than anybody else because I could afford, and I can't, this is just hypothetical, that if I could afford, you know, an expensive piece of jewelry or an expensive handbag or an expensive car, that doesn't make your life better. And it doesn't make you a better person because you can afford stuff like that. I try not to flaunt anything that I have. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, I have a 69 Chevelle, a 69 Camaro, a 76 Corvette, 2 trucks that are in their 80s, a 1980 El Camino. I mean, I have all these classic cars, and I do not flaunt anything. I did take pictures of the inside of my house, so you guys could know what my house looked like before I moved. I purposely do not try to flaunt what other people might consider to be wealth because I'm not rich. But on the other hand, I'm not poor. I'm one of those people that if you pay your bills and you have a little bit of money left over, then I'm rich. Because my whole entire life, I've been blessed. I've been able to pay all my bills. I've never had anything repossessed. I've been late on a couple of payments because I'm just ditzier, you know. I'm dingier than a wooden watch and forgot to pay it. But I don't know if I should tell you this, but I mean, I walked into Sephora and I applied for a credit card and it took like 3 minutes and I was approved. I really shouldn't tell you what the credit limit was, but it's way too much money. And the same thing at Ulta. Between those 2 credit cards, I could buy every piece of makeup that they have. But I'm responsible. I don't screw people over. It's taken me forever to come up with lip gloss. It's taken me forever to perfect my jewelry. And now it's really taking forever because I have so much stuff to do. But I'm one of those people that I am not going to sell you something that could cost between $25, $45, $65, or $125 and ship it to you. And then you open the package and you're going, oh my God, this is junk. I am not that type of person. So if I make an item, let me grab something and show you what I'm kind of talking about. If I make something like this, and if I put this on my ear, And I don't like the way it feels, because it feels like right now that if I turn my head really hard, it's going to fly off. I will never put products out that I would not wear myself and feel comfortable with, because I am not going to sell junk. I will never, ever, ever sell junk just to get money in my account. I can't. I cannot deceive. I cannot take advantage of people emotionally, physically, or financially. That is not me. It's happened to me a lot, and I will never, ever do that to anybody else. The thing that I don't like about this earring is when I put it on, it twists. So in order for me to feel comfortable with this twisting, I wouldn't put that many crystals on the back, but I would still put crystals on the back so when it does swing, it still glitters. So that's just me. I can't sell t-shirts to you guys that when you get it, it's nice and beautiful and the colors are vivid, and then you wash it and the colors start to fade. I've been doing t-shirts for probably, I don't know, I'm going to guess 5 years or something. And we wear the now listen to me, I'm still saying the we part because I'm so used to it. I wear the t-shirts and they don't fade. They're what I consider to be decent t-shirts. So that's why I sell them, because I don't feel like I'm taking advantage of anybody and I'm not selling junk. So I'm going to try to get back to what this is going to sound silly, because I'm going to try to get back to what I consider to be my roots on TikTok as far as live goes, is to still talk about makeup, but still promote as much positivity that I can. This is the shitty thing that's happening to me. And I'm not going to lie, it's crappy. But I'm not going to let this define who I am. It's going to be hard. It's going to be rough. But doing this live today and talking to you guys has made me feel a whole lot better. Because there's nothing worse than when you're having problems and you feel you have nobody to talk to. And that has happened to me for most of my life. So when you don't have anybody to talk to, it starts to fester, and then eventually it's going to pop. And in my case, I could probably explode and say things or do things that I would not normally do. So I talk to Joy and Robin quite often. Thank you, Helen. And I feel sometimes that I talk to them and I just feel like a broken record, but they're true friends and they help me. They're helping me through this. So it's nice to have a support system and people that absolutely, truly love you and care about you. I wish I could meet every one of you. I wish I had billions of dollars. I would fly everybody to Florida and take you all on a cruise if I had that kind of money. But unfortunately, I don't. And my luck that if I spent, if I took everybody on a cruise, I would be the only one that would get sick. So I'm trying to smile. I'm trying to be positive, and it's working. And this has helped me a ton. So, like I said, I wasn't positive if I should do this, because I did not want this to turn into a pity party, because honestly, I don't want anybody to pity me. That's not what I'm after. I'm actually, what I'm looking for, I already have, which is love and support from people that do care about me. So I feel like I have a group of people, a family here on TikTok that I can count on. Well, maybe I shouldn't say the word count on, for support and encouragement and positive comments, and make me feel like, help me feel like that everything is going to be okay, and that I'm doing the right thing by moving to Georgia, and that I'm doing the right thing by ending my relationship with Cliff. And by the way, my record for being in a relationship is 9 years now, because this is the second relationship that I've been in that lasted 9 years. It used to be 3 years. Now it's 9 years. So, but I have decided that if I ever do meet anybody, I'm never going to live with anybody again. If I meet somebody, they have to, there's, a few requirements, and I'll list them off. The first one is they have to be self-sufficient and employed. The next one is they have to have their own car. The next one is they have to be capable of paying their own bills. And the next one is they have to have their own housing. And the very last one that I'm going to say is stupid, is I always say they have to have all their teeth. I don't care if they come out at night and go into a jar, as long as they have their own teeth. So, but right now, that is the furthest thing from my mind, is trying to think about getting to another relationship, because no. And I do also have a feeling that if I'm meant to be with somebody else, then I will meet this person and it'll happen. And if I'm meant to be alone, as far as like relationship alone for the rest of my life, then that'll also happen. But hold on just a sec. The biggest thing that scares me is being alone, and I would rather be alone than be in a abusive relationship, which was not abusive until yesterday. So I do have to make that clear. Nothing like that ever happened in all of our 9 years of being together, and all of the 20 years that I've been with Cliff. And yes, I'm not proud of this, but I am going to say it. I had an affair with Cliff for 20 years, and I was still seeing Cliff while he was married. So if that makes me a rotten person, then so be it. I'm not proud of the fact, but it did happen. But I've learned from that mistake. But, see, and then I got sidetracked, and then I forgot what I'm talking about. But even if I live alone for the rest of my life, the only concern that I have, honestly, about this is because I got married at almost 61. I've never had any children. I only have pets. Yes, Cliff hit me. I just have fur babies. And yes, I have a sister, and I have nieces and nephew. And my parents are elderly. In fact, my mom will be 89 on Thursday, and my dad will be 89 in February. And the thing that scares me the most about my future and being alone and not being in a relationship with somebody is that, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but this is what scares me the most, is that when I get old and can't take care of myself, I'm going to end up in a care center. And I've worked in care centers, and I don't want to be in a care center. I just feel like that I don't have anybody that I can count on to help me when I'm old. I'm already old, but I mean when I get older. That's what I'm afraid of. So, I'm afraid of dying alone. So, and I don't mean friendship alone, I mean dying alone as far as like I don't have anybody that loves me. That's what I'm afraid of. But if that's what is going to happen to me in the future, then that's what's going to happen to me. You can only have so much control about your own life. And yes, I've been subconsciously trying to kill myself with cigarettes because I always thought that the only way I was going to get out of this town and this situation was in a pine box. And so I need to stop thinking about like that. I need to stop smoking. I need to take better care of myself. And I need to look forward to my future and being as happy as I could possibly be. So I am going to struggle with smoking cigarettes because, to tell you the truth, I really don't want to. But I am going to give it a big old schoolgirl try and see if I can do it. And if I have to post every day and say, day 10, no cigarettes, then I will do that. And then if I slip up and smoke a cigarette, then I will also post that and say, I messed up, I smoked a cigarette, but there's always tomorrow and I can try again. But I think basically, for me, if I have a support system like that, and I kind of have to, and I don't know, maybe this isn't the right way to say it, but if I have to report every day and let everybody know what's going on with my cigarette situation, then I will do that. I'm going to be honest, right now, I still have another carton of cigarettes because I buy them by the carton. I'm not going to throw them away. I'm going to smoke them. And then when they're almost gone, I'm going to go back on the patch. And I'm also trying to, well, this one's not as hard. Everybody thinks it's hard to stop doing this, but it's not hard because I've done it before. I didn't do it when I was in Georgia and I was perfectly fine. I'm also going to stop doing my medication at night. So I need to have a clear head and be focused and not let anything as far as like any kind of recreational drug hinder my thinking, because you never can tell. If I was on my medication and I saw Cliff, I don't know what I would do. I don't know if I would take him back, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to keep a clear head from now on. The only downside about my nightly medication is I don't use the medication to get messy. I don't use the medication to get, and I'm just going to say this, to get all fucked up. And I use the medication for sleep. Because if I don't do my medication, I'm up 3 to 4 times when I go to bed to go to the bathroom. But when I take 3 Benadryl and I take my medication, I can sleep usually 6 hours before I have to get up and go to the bathroom. And then, I don't know, this might be too personal, but once I get up and go to the bathroom, then I have to go to the bathroom every hour until I finally just get out of bed. So I've been getting up earlier because it's just really annoying when you climb back into bed and then you wake up and it's been 20 minutes and you have to go to the bathroom again. So enough of my bathroom problems. But the main thing that concerns me about not doing it anymore is when I take my medication, something happens to my brain and I become really, really, really creative. It's like I lay in bed and I think, how am I going to make this work when I'm doing, I'll just use like a piece of jewelry or something. How am I going to make this work if I'm trying to do this, if I want this to work? And for some reason, when I'm stoned, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, I figure stuff out. And then when I'm stoned, I think about makeup and I think, well, next time you do makeup, you should try doing this. And I remember those things. And when I say on my lives, I'm trying something new, that's where it mostly comes from, is from taking my nightly meds. And then the other, it's like 80% is that, and 20% is something that I see people do on TikTok, and then I try to recreate it to see if I can do it. So that's going to be the only downside about it. But, you know, sometimes you got to do stuff you don't want to do. So, but I'm going to try and see what happens. But I am going to say this, if I can't sleep and I only sleep 3 hours, and then I'm up for 9 hours and then I have to work a 12-hour shift, that's not going to be good, because I woke up yesterday, I had to get my hair done. I woke up at 7:30, went and got my hair done, didn't take a nap, went to work, worked 12 hours, so I was up about 22 hours before I went to bed. And I was up, it was 24 hours by the time I got done talking to Joy and Robin. So, I mean, for some reason, I don't know why my old body, I can do that, but I can. But, I don't know. I think I pretty much said everything that I want to. This can happen to anybody. I never in my whole entire life thought that somebody that I loved, somebody that I deeply cared about, would ever strike me. I mean, you know, we've gotten to stuff, and Cliff is like, when he's drunk, he's clingy, and he's irritated and says the same thing over and over again. And yes, I pushed him to get him out of my way because he used to pin me in a corner and wouldn't let me out. But I mean, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I'm not perfect. It's yeah, I've probably done stuff in our relationship that was pretty shitty and that I probably shouldn't have done. But, you know, I think that happens in life too. It's like, right now I'm looking back on this and I'm going, I shouldn't have married him. But then on the other point, I look at it and I'm going, I did marry him. And for the most part of our relationship, I'm very, very happy. I enjoy his company. He's my best friend. I love him to death. I just don't like the Cliff that emerges when alcohol is involved. And like I said, he's promised over and over and over and over and over and over. I mean, it would take all of our fingers and all of our toes to count how many times he's promised me that he will quit. And it usually lasts about 3 months when I realize that he hasn't quit, but he's been drinking when I'm not home, so I don't know about it. So, but the best thing I can do for myself, and I'm just starting to sound like a broken record, so I'm gonna sign off here in a minute, and I'm gonna go get myself something to eat, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna spend the evening with my dogs, and I'm gonna watch Glow Up on Netflix. It's that makeup competition that's out of the UK. I'm on season 5, and just even watching those people do stuff on the way they apply their makeup and the way the creativity that have. I mean, these people are basically makeup artists. It's like when they want you to create a goblin look using prosthetics and all those shadings and all that kind of stuff. It's beautiful, but I personally could not make myself look like a goblin because I'm not that experienced, and I could probably teach myself how to do all that stuff. But right now, that's not what I'm concentrating on. When I first started doing makeup, I tried to do drag makeup, and that was the hardest makeup I've ever done in my whole entire life. So hats off to drag queens, because it's not easy. So I'm just gonna not let things get into my head and just think positive and make my life better. And tomorrow's a different day. Tomorrow's going to be a better day. Tomorrow is going to be a great day. The only way that tomorrow will not be a good day is if I don't let it. And I'm telling you guys, that's the honest to God truth. I'm going to say this. I promote this all the time. But if you're in a relationship you're not happy with, if you in a job situation, if your living situation is horrible, if you don't like where you live, if you're bullied, the only person that can change any of that is you. Nobody can do any of that for you. Nobody can make you confident. Nobody can make you beautiful. Well, I mean, with makeup they could. Nobody can solve your problems. People might help you with advice or support, but when it comes down to it, the only one that can do it is you. So that's one of the problems that I think I was having in my relationship, is Cliff was upset because I was taking control of my own life and saying, okay, I don't care how you feel about this. I'm doing this because I'm doing it for me. And if you want to come with me, you're more than welcome to come with me. His life wouldn't have changed one bit. The only difference is it would have been a different house. But when somebody is so jealous about somebody else's relationship with friends or family, then it's going to cause nothing but problems. And so I realized that if I did take Cliff to Florida God, I don't want to go to Florida. If I took Cliff to Atlanta with me, he would do everything in his power to make my life miserable because of my relationship with Joy and Casey and their kids and Robin. So I can't have that kind of negativity in my life when I'm trying to improve my life for the better. And I'm not talking about trying to improve my life by begging people for money or begging people for follows or begging for any kind of that stuff to make myself a millionaire. I mean, if I do good enough on TikTok and people like brand names and stuff like that see a possibility in me, like I said earlier, I'm not going to turn that down, but that's not my main focus. And if I do make a lot of money, I mean, that would just be a side effect of doing really, really good, but I'm not planning on making a lot of money. That is not my motivation. I can support myself and I can take care of myself now. It's not that I need $1.3 million in the bank to make me happy, because I don't care if you have $100 in the bank or if you have 100 or even 100 million or 100 billion dollars in the bank. Money does not make you happy. I also like to say, yeah, that's true, but you can always rent happiness, but that's just trying to throw a little bit of humor into there. So, and when I say that's not my main goal, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. But I'm not going to lie, yes, if it happened, it would be wonderful. But I'm the type of person that if it happened to me, I share. So, it would happen, anyway. But I'm just feeling like that I'm just saying the same thing over and over again. But I am going to say this again. Doing this live has made me feel a whole lot better. I mean, I just did the hardest thing of my whole entire life, telling Cliff that we're done and that we can't see each other more and we can't have any kind of contact. And this is the weird part, is I'm okay with that. I'm okay. So I guess in 48 hours, or I mean in 28, God, I can't. This happened last night between 7 and 8. And so in the 24 hours that this has happened, I have grown as a person. I'm not spiritual. I don't believe in organized religion, and I'm not afraid to die, and I don't worry about what happens after I pass away because I have no control over that anyway. So I don't drive myself crazy thinking, oh my God, I'm going to die soon. But I am more concerned about people. I was more concerned about Cliff passing away and I was more concerned about if I passed away, what would happen to Cliff and what would happen to my dogs. That was my biggest priority, is worrying about what would happen to somebody else. I need to quit worrying about somebody else, and I need to concentrate on me. I don't worry about me, but I need to concentrate on myself, trying to make my life and my attitude and my future the best possible thing that I could ever do in my whole entire life. And that is my goal. So like I said, if anybody is struggling with something like this, and if you can get a hold of me, feel free to do so. I'm not going to shun anybody off. I'm not going to pretend like I care when I don't care. But if I'm at a point, if I'm busy and it takes a while to get back to you, I mean, I apologize about that, but I will try to do everything in my power to get back to people who are struggling and try to make them feel better about themselves. I do not give advice. If somebody asks me something and it's it's like, what should I do? My response is usually, well, I can't give you advice. All I can do is tell you what I would do if I was in that situation. So I will never tell anybody, divorce your husband, tell your boss to shove it up his ass, any kind of like that, because that is none of my business. That is not what I'm here for, is to tell you what to do. All I can do is tell you what I would do in my situation. So, but I will not be live on Monday and Tuesday because I do have responsibilities and I do have to work. But I will be back on Wednesday for a live, and it'll be a makeup live, and hopefully it'll just be a normal makeup live. It's not going to be one of these where I'm crying and tugging at your heartstrings, which that's not what I'm trying to do, or feel any kind of pity. So we'll just go back to normal, and we're going to move forward with all of this and my life and everything like nothing happened. My only concern is putting makeup on these. So that would be my only concern. But I mean, I burned my forehead with a curling iron, and I put makeup on that, and I mean, it was all right. So I will be back on Wednesday, and I just want to tell everybody that is in here, that follows me on a regular basis and watches my lives, that I love you guys more than you will ever know. I am so happy that I started doing this. I'm so happy that Joy talked me into doing this, because there's a community of people out there that I absolutely love and adore. And someday I plan on meeting all of you. So I'm going to say goodbye, and everybody keeps saying to me, go get food. So I am. I'm going to go get food, and then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to relax, and I'm going to pamper myself and think positive, and I'm going to have a wonderful rest of my evening, and I'm going to have a fabulous day tomorrow. And on Wednesday, I'm going to take chances with makeup, and I'm going to do stuff that I've always wanted to do that I'm too afraid to do because I don't know if I can do it. If I can do it, wonderful. If I can't, well, I'll learn from that look at my mistakes, and try again. That's the thing I have to tell people about makeup, and I'm sorry, I'm going to go. But I have to say this. If you're a makeup prodigy and the first time you put on makeup, you look like an influencer with 200 million followers and your makeup is perfect, wonderful, darlings. But most people are not like that. I was definitely not like that. If you want to play with makeup and you want to learn how to do makeup, the only advice that I can give you, and I will give you advice on this because it's not really something bad, is you have to practice. You can't just sit down once a month and try to learn how to do an extreme winged eyeliner like I do. In fact, I've said this on one of my lives before. The way that I learned how to do most of this stuff was by repetition. When I was horrible at makeup, I used to come home and I would do 10 lip looks in a day. I would do one, I would wipe it off. I would do another one, I would wipe it off. Sometimes my lips were so sore and sometimes my lips were so stained, but I didn't give up. That's what you have to do. The first time I tried to do a wing eyeliner, I swear to God, it was 2.5 inches thick. It looked terrible. It was hard. Now it's easy. But the only reason it's easy is because I did not give up. I kept going. I kept trying. And I'm going to tell you people, I'm going to tell everybody, that's the only way you're going to learn. And if you want to be beautiful and have a huge TikTok or Instagram or anything account doing with makeup, you have to practice. Like it's not like you're going to learn how to play fleur-de-lis on the piano if you don't practice. So practice, practice, practice. Okay, Auntie Prue is going to shut her hole right now, and I'm going to go get food. So I will see you guys then. I'm going to post in between then and just kind of give everybody updates on how I'm doing. But I'm not going to let me get me down, and my updates are probably going to be more like this, just full of positivity and full of energy, and my life is going to be okay, and my future is going to be okay, and my life is going to be wonderful because I want it to be wonderful. And as long as I want it to be wonderful, it will. So, okay, darlings. Kisses, kisses. Love you tons, and I'll see you soon. Bye, darlings. Love you, love you.